So what we have covered in our last class? RBP.
RBP.
Yeah.
Yes, RBP.
Yes. About employee self-services we have seen, right? So what is the action name to grant the permissions? Permission,
Uh,
role.
Role. Yes.
Yeah, till now we have not covered permission groups for what it is used and all. So any standard permissions, including ESS, MSS, all these, you will be using this permission roles. If there are no groups, basically, if there are only for if you are giving permissions for all employees, standard is there. If you are giving permissions for all managers, standard is there. Managers also, if you just see, you will be having it for all managers, but it is applicable for all managers until and unless you set up any criteria, basically. If you just see, okay, we have selected over here managers in this group. So all managers doesn't have access. Only in US, India, and Singapore you'll be having this access. Just a second. So that criteria also will be checking it. Now just let us go to permission roles. So for employee self-service, we have checked proxy for the employee, what exactly they can have the portlet access and all. Now, if you see, we are also employee only. We are later super admin. We have a power of super admin, but initially we are also employee only. If we go to the home page, this is the old home page is visible for us. So you can control the old home page and new latest home page through permission roles only. Now, if I go to permission, there is something called general user permissions or something. Yeah, here live profile access means if you want to search for any employee profile, then you will be having live profile access. This is must. Now here it is there, access the latest home page. Now I'll be selecting this and save changes. Okay, now it is changed. Now let me just refresh it. See, change, right? Homepage access.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So we are also employee only. That's the reason for all employees it is applicable. So if you want to view this access for only super admins and super admins permissions, you have to give this access, activate this access. Now let us go to if you do the change, it will not directly appear until and unless you log out and log in, basically max to max. Only for home changes it will happened like this. See, it is not yet reflected. Until and unless you log out and log in, you can't able to find the changes reflected. Even after refreshing, only for home page change only it will happen. So immediately if you check it is not there, then don't get worried. Basically it works on logout and login. See, it is appearing.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what about ESS. Now, one more important thing I'll be explaining you. For example, let me open permission rules here. Let me proxy tomorrow's yesterday's employees, basically. Alan Chan. His name was Alan Chan. So for proxying, I'm just going here, proxy now, Alan Chong. Now, if I go to this my employee file, see this option, my employee file, live profile under user permissions, you have to check, then only that is visible. Then only you can go to my employee file. That is live profile. If I go to my employee file, here, these permissions are taking from ESS, because in the ESS we have mentioned to what is the difference between granted users and target population? Yesterday I have told you. Remember?
Yes, sir.
What is granted user?
Granted user means, sir, can you explain again, sir?
Yeah. Okay, fine, no problem. Granted users means right now, let me open the ESS. Okay. This role is there. I'm just first step what I'm doing. Okay. It will not take. Let me become self first. So this is ESS role. First step, what we are doing, we are naming the role, right? This is clear. First, we are naming the role. And second step, we are giving the required permissions for employees. Okay. This is also clear how the permissions are given. Just you have to go under the particular section and what employees should able to do. You can able to give those permissions. So now, this second step, after giving the permission, system will ask to whom this permission is to be given. System is not that much intelligent. Directly they will be giving to employees if we mention ESS. So system will ask to whom we have to grant these permissions to. So here, while adding the permission, while if you add, if nothing is there over here, how to grant the permission? In the third step, there is add button. You can see over here, right? Add button. So if you click this screen will open. N number of groups, N number of permissions you can add here. Just simply add. So better for ESS only, let us add one permission. So system will ask, okay, you have created ESS to whom these permissions is to be granted. Then I am mentioning that all employees, as it is meant for employees only, right? So we have to grant only to employees only. So all the employees which are there in the success factors are employees only, hired in the success factors. So I'm just telling them the system that it is to be granted to all employees. Now all employees will can able to see these informations. For example, if I proxy now, I'm proxying on behalf of one employee. He is not super admin. Alan Chong is not super admin. Okay. I'm proxying. Now I am employee, not a super admin. After proxying, system will identify me as an employee, not a super admin. Let me just proxy. And as now I am Alan Chong, I will be going into my employee file, okay, to see my details. And then I can able to find these many portals. Compensation information is also there. For okay, I can see, okay, I have 3,400. That's this employee is allowed to see others employee compensation details also.
No.
No, right? That's the reason target population is invented. Granted user is all employees, then who is the target population? These all employees can view whom details, only their self details they can view. That's the reason we have selected target population. Understood?
Okay. Yes, understood, sir.
So this is what the control you can able to give through RBPs. Okay. Anybody asking in the interview also what is granted user and target population, then you have to say it. Granted users means to whom you are giving permissions. Target population means those granted users can view whose details, basically, whether their department members details, their self details, all these can be applicable over here. Or if none of there is standard, then you can create any, if any particular user or legal entity wise details they want to see, then you have to create permission group and mention that group over here. I will show how to create the permission group. Right now I'm in proxy, so it will not allow me to create anything. Let me become self. Whenever you are into the others account, if he is not having the authorization, immediately this authorization will also go. Okay, you can't able to handle like this if you are in the middle of something. So you have to become self before doing any changes. So this is what the definition of target granted users and target populations. Okay. Now we have looked into ESS. Now ESS, let me again proxy. For trial and error, for testing, you have to do multiple time proxying and then become self. Then only you can able to understand simultaneously if you want to test.
Okay.
So if I go to my employee file, now these information, these access are given, are taken from ESS, employee self-service, whatever you are seeing over here. Now I am searching I am into Alan Chen. Now I am Alan Chen. I am searching for any other employee, John Huddleston or any other employee of your reference. You can search, not a problem. I am searching for any other employee. Now there is a limited details. As you can see, we can't able to edit. There is a limited sections also. That compensation section is also not there. Okay. These access, do you think it is taking from ESS? Yes or no? From where this access is taking? It is not definitely from ESS. For that purpose, let me explain you. Let me become self, else it will show an error. Yes. So one role is created for ESS that the employees can able to see his or her own details. Now the organization have another requirement, right? So for other they, if they are able to see their own details, let me deactivate this other role, manager, employee search. There is one more role called employee search. Employee search new. I will just explain what this role is. Let me deactivate this role, then it will be clear for you. Make inactive and save changes. So it is not necessary that for a single employee you have to give one role. For super admins also there may be many roles. Depends on the requirement, because one role doesn't have that criteria, because other employees are also there, users are there also there in that role who doesn't need that permissions. So for that you will be creating another role with some extra permissions and give to that employee. Basically, how that employee means, you can create either permission groups or anything if there is no standard role. So for now in ESS, I'm just explaining you, don't get confused so much. Right now I'm deactivated that role and I'm proxying with the Alan Chen again. Alan Chong. Now I'm just going to employ file. Okay, I have not disturbed ESS role. So don't worry, ESS has nothing to do with this. And now I'll be searching for John Huddleston. Can I able to view his details?
No.
See. Huddleston name is only not coming. If I just go with John Williams, it is coming. You do not have permissions to view this profile. Got it? The difference. Now, at the same time, look what will happen. At the same time, in the ESS itself, it will take some time to become self. No problem. In the ESS itself, if not this, I have selected all the permissions and all. In the third step, here, instead of granting self, I'll be selecting everyone. Okay. Now see what will happen. By mistake, suppose I have selected everyone. So now what will happen? Any idea?
We can see all the details.
Yes, all the details for not ourselves, for others.
Others also, yeah.
Yes. Now we can see these details, and if I select, now see, we can see the other details of Huddleston also. We can see the compensation of Huddleston, current salary is 60,000, etc. So this is literally the breach of the organizational policy. In anywhere, it is not allowed to view other employee details. Okay.
Yes.
So for that case, first step we'll be doing that, we'll be creating ESS role, and in the in ESS role, third step, we'll be granting it to only self view, basically.
Yes.
First, this is has to be done. In third step, here, this is the first step we will be doing. Granted user self, because he or she can able to see his own details, his or her own details. This is the first step. Now, after this, organization says at least the basic details of the employees is to be seen by all employees. Means for that different roles to be created. For example, if we have created this ESS and asked them that the granted users can able to see their own details only, but what about other employees? Like in some organization, like first name, last name, basic details of the other employees, if they want to search, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, getting it. If they
Yes.
want to search, they should see. So in ESS, that control you can't able to either this side or that side. This is not done in ESS. For that purpose, we'll be creating another role. Role name is up to yourself. Employee search or employee view. Basically, you can rename anything. That's up to your wish. So for that purpose, we are creating another role, employee search, and then we are giving very limited permissions for this. One is employee view will be giving only the section two sections, me and employment. If you see here, me and employment will be there. This is not, I'm not proxying right now. When we are searching for any other employees in ESS, at that time you will be having two sections, me and employment. Okay, that section
Yes.
view you have to give it over here. And under this section, various portlets are also there. Employment will be having also certain portlets. That portlets, except compensation portlet, any other portlet information you can give it from effective dated. You have to search, you have to go to employee central effective dated thing, where you can able to mention any first name, last name, whatever the view details. They can't able to view the history also. It is up to you if they can view the history or not. So edit is not, it is not provided for this view. So only the view details we are providing. So this much only, because other informations are little bit sensitive, like compensation information. So employee central effective dated, we have given view details, and then we'll be coming to employee data. Employee data is nothing but employee profile and non-effective dated. As you can see, phone, cell phone, all these details we have mentioning over here. Department and all these details we have mentioned over here. So only view details. There is no edit details. This only badges we have given the edit details. That's not a problem. I will explain you when it comes badges kind of thing. So only view details we have given for this. So these are the non-effective dated and employee profile basically. Think country and all, first name, last name, all these details we are giving for the employees, so that they can able to search other employee. And we are just granting this to all employees, and here all employees can able to see everyone details, because only view details only we have selected of as per our requirement. Okay, so here nothing is wrong. Got it? Or any
Got it.
doubts?
No, sir.
So let me activate this. So similarly, if you proxy it, this comes from employee self-service. And if I search for any employee, this comes from employee search. As you can see, two sections only we have viewed. These comes from permissions, employee view. And you can see only in employment, only organization and job information, supervisor details. These only things we have activated basically. This is coming from employee profile, life profile, user information. This is coming from employee profile. So employee profile details are also there in what the employee data. There is three things in Employee Central portlets related. One is Employee Central effective dated, one is employee view, one is employee data. Okay.
Okay.
So from these only you can able to control these details. Not a problem. So this is what about ESS. Any doubts related to ESS, employee self-services?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. So just practice it. And then the next thing is manager self-service. Same like ESS, in MSS also, first you are defining the role, manager self-services. This description you can give it of your. So managers have almost all the goals planned. These will be given to you by the GM consultant. So similarly, you have to, there are some extra roles in MSS, as you can see, address line and all. So Employee Central compensation, this is related to integration module. Managers is not required for any. Admin will be having this. This is also widgets management may have. So depend on the requirements. Some extraordinary rules are there for the managers. Payroll permit compensation, payroll control center. This is related to payroll. Employee data. Employee data, you may have certain roles. Here it is not given, no problem. But you may have certain roles for employee data also, managers. You can able to view and control over here. General user permissions, there are certain rules. So it basically depends on the requirement of the organization, what exactly the organization want to give the managers the role. Same like employee self-services, there are permissions you have to give from these permissions, what permissions the manager should have. Managers generally for some companies, for example, managers are authorized to run any actions like termination action, hiring actions and all. So for that you'll be having one just a second, manage hires. You have to give this options also to the managers. Basically they'll be having these options because some company may have authorized managers to hire the employees. So depending on the criteria, you have to give the access. And other events and event reason like termination and all will be there in here. Employee data. You can give these permissions, not a problem. And then you can give managers these permissions. Pay component, events and event reason, there is something where pay component groups. These are events. There are so many event reason. You have to give the event reason permission, like actions, add new employee permissions. Also, you have to give it over here. View and edit, add new employee, rehire permissions, termination permissions. These are some standard events. Then there are event reasons. Until and unless you give here the permissions for the managers, it will not work. For example, I'm just saving it without giving the permissions. There are so many permissions for managers, depend on the requirement. Here, very less permissions are given. And that too, just a second. Yeah, that too, the managers granted users are only this MSS in USA, India, and Singapore. So for example, I'm searching for a Malaysia manager. I think he may not have that permission. Kuala Lumpur, basically. Like Ahmad Van, he's also a manager. He has direct reports, Teresa Chin and Jordan Pang. Now, if I proxy for Ahmad Van, might be that permission may not work because he is not from those mentioned groups. That is the reason permission groups come in existence. Let me come slowly first for all managers and then later on this. If I just proxy Ahmad Van, if I go to admin center, is he's not having certain permissions. Though he's a manager, if I go to employee file also, you can't he can't able to see his report. No, he can able to see direct report. This comes from ESS only. Org chart permissions are different. Though he can see his direct report is now Teresa Chin. If I want to go to Teresa Chin, who is the direct report is for this employee? Teresa Chin, Thresa. If I go to Teresa Chin, you can able to he might have got the permissions from to only view these details from employee search. Basically, if you see this particular manager have only this details, but in ESS role, there is more much than these. These are not coming from ESS. These are coming from employee search role. Okay. Now, let me become self. It is little bit not confusing. Typical means you have to just work on the logic basically. Okay, got it.
Okay.
These are very interesting. If you just go on practicing, you will get more things to learn in the RPPs. That's the reason RPPs are considered as totally different modules. So here there is no Malaysia. These groups I have mentioned. Now I'm just selecting all managers and keeping on done. So here include access of reports to direct reports means all levels means whether 2 levels, 3 levels. If you want 1 level direct reports, you have to mention here. This option is also there here, not issue. If you don't want this option, you can just make granted users direct reports, then you can ignore this, or else you can mention this. This is not a problem. And then I'm just clicking on done and save the changes. So all managers have done now. Now see the difference. If I go to proxy now, AHMAD, it was Ahmad Van, right? If I go to admin center, not admin center, employee files. See, he has so many, this can be seen. Anyways, MSs have this edit information, view information, which we have given for the managers. A part of ESS, little bit extra he is having. Now I'll be searching her direct report is from here. I'm just going to Teresa Chain record. See, apart of
Yes.
that, you can able to see, right? He has
Yes.
this edit option and what we have given for that role, basically for MSS role. These
Hmm.
options you can able to find it over here.
Earlier, sir, that compensation payroll benefits field was not there.
Yeah,
So
it was
now
not there
we are
because it
able
is
to,
included in
yeah.
MSS Access. So
Okay.
for that, he can able to see this compensation information and all for the employees. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what is let me check what is difference in between Ahmed ESS and MSS. Is there anything difference in the profile if we go to Ahmed Van? Employee file. Personal information, anyways, edit option. I think biographical information edit option is there, and then addresses edit option, maximum edit option is there, payment information. If I go to any employee like this is employee, he doesn't have any direct reporters. Let me check. No, only peers. And personal information edit option is there. National ID is not biographical information. Addresses is there. Does the manager also have national ID edit information? Was there or not? Not admin center. Just employee file. No, national ID he is also not having. Now let us give this national ID edit information in manager self-service. Just in manager self-service, and let us
Hmm.
check both sides in ESS and MSS whether how it is working. Okay.
Okay.
We should work only in MSS. So I'm just going to MSS and in permissions, I'm giving national ID is non-effective dated. Where it will come? Employee data. You have to remember in this way. If you don't find, you have to just mention national ID information. View edit. Done. This I'll explain you later what it doesn't mean. Generally, if you also checklist this basically, so you can
Hmm.
hire, if you are hiring any employee in USA, that employee
Hmm.
should be also the of the nationality in USA. Okay, else it will show an error. If you want to update this national ID for any USA employee, the employee
Hmm.
should also the belong to the legal entity USA. For example, any Malaysian employees there, if you are
Hmm.
updating national ID portlet, it will show an error because system will take only the only the legal entity, only the legal entity of USA only. It means basically system is saying the nationality of the employee should be of the same legal entity. Then only you have to checklist this. But generally, without knowing, don't checklist. Okay.
Okay.
Got it? What I am trying to say.
Yes.
Let me again check proxy now. Ahmad Van.
I think, sir, now he can able to edit his national ID
Yeah,
information.
we can able to edit the national ID information because we have, if you click on view, you can able to view. If you click on edit, then you can able to edit. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Still it is not showing. Just a second. Employee data. We have done this. Is there any restriction in the third step? All managers we are going to. Okay. You have to mention this also. Include the access to the granted user's self. This is the new thing basically introduced in MSS. Previously, it was only this exclude granted users. You can, if you check this and check not, it will not work right now for MSS. But here, if you want the particular employee, for example, before doing this, let me just explain you. Just a second, one call.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, I have me. बस बढ़िया। Yeah, hi. There?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. थोड़ा कॉल आ गया था. So कहाँ थे हम?
MSS permission.
Permissions, MSS. तो जैसे कि हम अहमद वैन के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, राइट?
Right.
चलिए की अब हम देख रहे थे, ये एक्चुअली ये परमिशन इसको मिल रहा है ESS से. इट इज नॉट फ्रॉम MSS. ओके, बताता हूँ क्यों. अब हम मैं आई एम गोइंग टू his direct report is anybody, Teresa Chin or anybody. Now we have given national IDs permission, right? As you can see, either it is showing the access. Got it?
Got it.
So how it is showing? Any idea why it is not showing for himself? I will tell you. Because there is an option called include access to granted user self. Until and unless you check this, for MSS only it will show this option. Include use access for granted user self. Until and unless you check this, it will not. And make it done and save changes. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to,
Employee file.
yes, employee file. See, now it is working, right? National ID information.
Yes.
So this is how you can control the MSS access. This is just, I have told you, normal, basically normal ESS and MSS standard roles. अभी custom roles के बारे में आया नहीं. So standard roles are, there may be different requirement, like only US managers and India managers are only able to view that MSS basically, and then there may be requirement like only one person can able to view all for the particular country basically. So that will be covering custom requirements where permission groups are come into existence. Okay, that will be covering in tomorrow's session. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts till now?
No, sir.
Okay, then chalo. Tomorrow,
Sir,
actually tomorrow is not, I will not be available tomorrow. So we'll be
yeah,
covering.
I was asking the same thing.
Okay, okay, yes, yes. So we'll be covering in Friday session. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Friday we'll be connecting. Okay.
Okay, fine, sir.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.